Okay. Okay, so we're gonna, yeah. So we just sit and relax and choose the most comfortable posture, as comfortable as you can. And just relax your body. We begin the meditation by doing some small reflections. We just reflect on gratitude, and we are so grateful to be here. We are so grateful that we are not sick. We might have lots of difficulties in life. Maybe have problems with jobs. Maybe someone losing their job. But at least we are not sick. At least we don't have coronavirus. Even some have coronavirus, maybe we have recovered. Even if we're sick, at least we're still alive. We're still here. We're still breathing. Just appreciate that, the fact that we're still alive. And appreciate every single breath that we breathe in. Every single breath that we breathe in might be our last breath. We are grateful and thankful for every single breath that we breathe in. And how wonderful it is to be alive. We tend to take it for granted, isn't it? Even just as simple as breathing. And we never know when is our last breath. We just being appreciative of every single breath that we breathe in.